All right, welcome everyone to a special part two edition of the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. We have so much news and information that we wanted to get to, and we're sort of restructuring our format here. We're trying to get it down pat since we have such a great new correspondent joining us. That's Annmarie. And Annmarie, there was a few things that you still wanted to talk about, so here we go with part two. Obama Supreme Court nomination. That was one of the
Yes.
things. What's up
Um,
with that? I mean, that just happened this week. What's going on with that?
well, Ted Cruz said that there was an 80-year history of the Senate not confirming a nomination during presidential election years. And I wanted to say and let everybody know that that is complete and total BS. That is not true. The Senate confirmed nominees in 1940, 1956, and 1988. Um, every time.
Can you say those dates again and why they're significant?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go through it. In fact, I'm gonna go back. Okay, every single time that a vacancy on the Supreme Court arose during a presidential election year, the sitting president nominated someone to fill it. Every single time. Every single time that this has happened. So, all in about one instance did the Senate confirm the nominee. Um, Now, Mitch McConnell, the senator from Kentucky, that's the one that's said that he will not even consider a nomination. Um, they basically want to block it just because it's Obama. They're so like anti everything, but this is not unusual. I mean, this has happened before, and it's happened 8 times before. So this is actually the 9th time. So it's happened 8 times before. So I want to go through it.
Eight
Now,
times before that there was an opening in the Supreme Court, not necessarily that they passed away or died like Scalia.
right. I
Okay,
mean, and there's
gotcha.
and okay, since 1900, we will go back even to 1900. Since 1900, there have been only 8 times there has been a vacancy on court during a presidential election year, and this would be the ninth. This would be the ninth time. So in all 8 instances, the sitting president, nominated someone to fill the vacancy, and there's never been an instant. There's never ever been an instance. I mean, go back to even President Washington. There's
Mhm.
never been an instance when a president delayed making a nomination. So the next president, I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, okay, so anyway, let's go back. Let's go back even further. Now, Ted Cruz said in the last 80 years, and there's a reason why he's saying that, because he wants to BS you. But let's go back even further. Since 1900, okay, there's 8 times. The first one was 1912. That was under President Taft. He made a nomination that was confirmed. Okay, the second time and the third time were both under Woodrow Wilson. He nominated 2 people and both were confirmed. The fourth time was 1932, and President Hoover made a nomination and that was confirmed. The fifth one is 1940. Franklin Roosevelt made the nomination and that was confirmed. Okay, so that's 1940. Remember, Ted Cruz said we go back 80 years. Okay, the sixth time is
Uh,
1956. Eisenhower made the nomination before election. The Senate was in recess. As soon as they came back, they confirmed it. Okay, so that one's a little bit, tricky. All right, number 7, 1968, Lyndon Johnson made the nomination, and the Senate did not confirm this one, but he still was not. He still nominated him. You see what I'm saying?
and
So it
and
doesn't
these
matter
are
that.
all in these 9 issues are all in some reverb, but they're all in a president's final year or in an election
Yes,
year is what you're saying, right? Yes. Okay.
exactly.
So this is the precedents, and and Obama did nominate someone, but of those 8 or 9, how many? Yes, they were nominated, but how many passed?
All of them except. Oh wait, let me just tell you one. The last one. The last
Mhm.
one was 1988. This is the 8th nomination. President Reagan. He confirmed Justice Kennedy. That was 1988. Okay, so I will tell you, in 1956, Eisenhower nominated someone before the election, and the Senate was in recess. As soon as they came back, they confirmed him. But the only one that really wasn't confirmed, let me just make sure, was 1968. Lyndon Johnson made the nomination, but the Senate did not confirm it. That's 1968. But just because he didn't confirm it, Lyndon Johnson still nominated him. So when they say this in the news, it's a complete BS story. I mean, these presidents.
So Obama, I mean, he does have an obligation to nominate someone, and this week he did. Who did Barack Obama nominate?
His name, I believe, is Merrick Garland. I might be saying that wrong. He's, I don't know if that's his name, but Merrick Garland. Okay, yeah. He's considered a judicial moderate, and he was the Chief Justice of the District of Columbia Circuit Court of Appeals. Now that's important, because what that means is that he's one layer below the Supreme Court. I mean, that's like huge. This guy is good. He's it's not like he's extreme on one way or extreme on the other way. He's a moderate, and I mean and he has experience. I mean, he's one layer below the Supreme Court. He has tons of experience. Now, he's very qualified. He was appointed by Bill Clinton. He's been on the Court of Appeals since Clinton administration. So he's like a swing vote. So it's not like he's gonna vote 100% for conservatives like Clarence Thomas, or swing the other way like Ginsburg for the liberals. Although he may swing a little bit towards that way because he was appointed by Bill Clinton. But judges are supposed to be non-biased. I mean, they are supposed to be non-biased. But I think this is a great pick by Obama. And this guy is.
What's his marital status? Is he in a homosexual relationship, or?
No. I don't know what his status is.
Does he shoot guns? Is he a hunter? Do you know about that? I mean, what's his position on like LGBT, or like, I don't know, like gay marriage in the United States, or the Second Amendment, gun rights? I mean, those seem to be the issues that the Republicans are pushing as far as who they want to be the nominee. Mitch McConnell, of course, not just I mean, he's a pretty high-ranking member, like on a whip or something. But I'd like to hear what Sam is thinking about all this. Sam, go ahead.
I think Cruz has a habit of stretching the truth a bit. He'd have been much better off just saying that it wasn't something that was routinely smiled upon, which I think is more historically accurate. They don't really like when you do it in your last year because it gets credited to your legacy, I guess, to some degree, but they look at it as a blemish. And I think Cruz way overspoke, which is one of the problems with Cruz.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it probably would be unwise for him to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the president did.
And I mean, Trump, Cruz, they're both talking about, more conservative. I mean, where does this guy stand on abortion? Because I saw a quick headline that was like, what's her name, Natalie Richardson or something like that, or I forgot her name, the head of the Planned Parenthood. She was walking into a meeting in the Oval Office at the same time that Obama, after in the Rose Garden, he just nominated Garland there, and then she showed up. And did you see any of that, Annmarie?
Well, I have to say this about Planned Parenthood, and Donald Trump said on the Republican stage at a Republican debate that he thought that Planned Parenthood was a good thing, and that he said that that it's actually only like 3%, I think he quoted, of what they do is abortions, and that they're good for women. And then the next line he said was, "But I would defund them." But I do believe that's why I was saying to
I
you.
think he's
he
trying to
wants
say.
he wants to defund the abortion aspect of it.
Yeah, that's my feeling is he wants to defund the abortion. We've talked before about how this is kind of an 11th talking point issue for the Republicans, abortion, but it's like Planned Parenthood does do a lot of good things. I mean, I've been to Planned Parenthood. I mean, I was like, do I have a sexually transmitted disease? Jesus Christ, where do I go? So, Planned Parenthood does do a lot of good things that are not abortions.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, a lot of my friends back home on Staten Island, like whenever we talk about politics or anything, it just ends because they basically say to me, well, I'm a Republican, and they don't really want to discuss about any social issues or anything like that, and they'll always vote Republican because they're anti-abortion. And so I really don't talk politics with any of my friends back home. That's where it ends. It's a huge issue for them. My girlfriends have gone through IVF and had problems with pregnancies and things like that. So, I mean, and that's what they say. It ends at that. And also, I went to an all-girl Catholic school, and I am a true believer
And they have
in
the
Planned
highest rate of
Parenthood.
abortion.
They had, like my senior sister, they pair you off with a senior. My senior sister and about 4 other seniors were pregnant a year. Now that's a high amount for 20 girls. I mean, there's only 20 girls in the class, and 5 out of the 20 are pregnant. And what I'm saying is, and then what they did for my year, well, most of the girls in my class had ovarian cysts all of a sudden, and then their parents took them and let them get the birth control pill because they had an ovarian cyst. And then the year below me, while this was going on, the sophomores, they made them carry around bags of flour everywhere, bags of flour. So
Like a baby.
like a baby, and it was the
I
stupidest.
had an eggshell, and I had it in a Tupperware with a little like a little towel thing to keep him comfortable, because that was my baby. You're talking about like home economics or something. Yeah, I had to take that class.
All day. And I think it's the stupidest thing. Now, this is what I feel. I feel that Planned Parenthood is so important. I went there for even like an exam because I didn't have health insurance, and I wanted to, you want to go, you're supposed to go like every year and get like a pap smear or whatever. And it's like not even for the pill, it's not for abortion, but I do wish that they would have a separate place for the abortions, like a hospital or like a wing that you could go to that is separate than the rest, because not every girl is going in there for an abortion. You might just be going, in fact, when I was in Texas, I went in there and they even took my blood iron level, like to make sure that my iron was high enough, because I wasn't like eating like a lot of meat for a little bit. And they even
No,
tested
that's
that.
very important. When my sister went vegetarian and she went to the doctor and they're like, "You're not getting enough iron. You're not eating meat anymore, and so it's fucking up your system." Sam, do you want to step in here?
Everybody, everybody I've ever gone out with has gone to Planned Parenthood for reasons other than abortion.
Right, exactly.
It's I understand and they need to be real.
So it serves a function, but do regular hospitals, can they serve the same function without government funding is my question.
Ugh.
Well, they couldn't. It should be a state's issue.
It should be a state's issue. I mean, sometimes that's an easy thing for politicians to say, like if running for federal office, like, it should be a state's issue. I don't have to worry about it. But what if certain states are voting one way versus another? What about like Colorado with weed? But let's not get into that today. Let's stay focused on what we're talking about.
Exactly. Sometimes I get like pissed off when I hear that, like a presidential nominee. I've heard that a lot. Oh, well, it's states issues, states' rights. And the thing is that you're running for president of the whole United States. I mean, it's not going to be the answer in every state.
If it's not laid out in the Constitution said it's supposed to be relegated to the states. which is why the Constitution.
So a strong 10th Amendment president is what Sam's looking for. I feel that's good too. I think that a strong candidate for president should be willing and should be talking about shrinking the size of the federal government, giving more power back to the states. If Colorado wants to have weed and the majority of the people there vote for it, then fine, so be it. That's the way it's going to be. I thought it was going to be California first personally, but Colorado did it. But anyways.
But why not make that a nationwide thing? I mean, I think that, you know, even
why
with
don't you tax it and let Marlboro open up marijuana plants? See, I think a lot of the local state governments, when they vote on marijuana, I mean, I'm sorry, it's segueing into marijuana, but when they vote on it, I think, especially in California, the proposition, it was like, yes, we do want to have like weed that we can purchase like locally and stuff, but we don't want it to be just totally dominated and run by a major corporation or like Marlboro joints. We want the local OG Kush or whatever they're going to call it.
Right. Well, they do that with alcohol sales in some states too. Like you have to go to like an ABS or something, like a.
Oh yeah, no. In Washington, they don't have all the Arab liquor stores and stuff that we have here in San Diego, and they sell the porn and all this other stuff, and it's like a cool little Chaldean liquor store. No, in Arizona, in Washington State, the government runs the alcohol sales out of only government-specific locations. They're closed on certain government holidays. You can't purchase your alcohol on those days. But the hard alcohol, I mean, yeah, the grocery stores will have the wine and the beer, but if you want the, the tequilas and the other stuff, you're going to have to go through the state for that. Not like here in California. It's different all over the map, right? It's a state's issue, right?
Oh my gosh. Wherever I've been, like Charlie's a big drinker. So like, let's say Pennsylvania, they do not sell any beer or wine definitely beer because he's a huge beer drinker too, in a grocery store. So there's a big grocery store called Giant Eagle, and there's this gigantic one, really gigantic. I mean, CNBC went there. They had a documentary there. And we went to that one. And this was the only place we could buy beer because they put a bar. They had, like in Pennsylvania, you're only allowed to sell beer at a bar, or if you go to a liquor store, like a place that sells beer, you have to buy them in cases at certain places, and you have to buy like 24 at a time. So we went to the grocery store. This is the only grocery store that has it because they put a bar in Giant Eagle. And there's people drinking at the bar, like really, like it seemed like early for me to start drinking. But anyway, that's how we could buy beer at Giant Eagle. But they sell no beer in the grocery store there.
It's past noon.
It's 5 o'clock everywhere. But that's a weird law. And also in Colorado, like in Denver, like they said that you're only allowed beer in, like, say there's Whole Foods. You're only allowed one Whole Foods to sell beer. So if I went to this other Whole Foods, they wouldn't have any beer. It's just, or Trader Joe's. There's only one place that can have the beer. There's a weird law.
That is weird, and so that's the state's right. And I mean, Sam, that's where we jumped off from what you were saying. So, I mean, how do you feel about the state's right to select the Supreme Court nomination? I mean, that's a federal thing, right, Sam? Sam, how do you feel about Barack Obama's Supreme Court nomination? Are you there, Sam?
I don't know a whole lot about the man. Do we have anything about his past voting record or anything like that?
No, I didn't look at that up.
I'd be interested to see what kind of past he has as far as where his stances are on things, or where he stood on things prior.
That's where I was going with his thoughts and stances on like Second Amendment, abortion, other stuff, and then like I said, the head of Planned Parenthood was seen Planned was seen walking into the meeting, like right after they had the Rose Garden meeting, and people speculated in conspiracy mode theory that like Planned Parenthood
All
was
right, Breitbart has 5 facts.
this lady, the one that looks like House of Cards. Yeah.
Are you
Planned Parenthood CEO applauds Obama's Supreme Court nominee. Right here. They said, hey, Planned Parenthood, Obama just nominated Judge Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court, and she is applauding. If I can get past all this damn commercials. Go ahead, guys.
Well, I've got this from Breitbart. 5 facts you need to know about him. He's considered anti-Second Amendment. In 2007, he voted to undo the D.C. Circuit Court decision striking down one of the most restrictive gun laws in the nation and upheld a Clinton-era regulation. He is in favor of environmental regulation. He's going to be a disaster. He believes in global warming. His positions on abortion and social issues are murky. He would maintain the court's demographic profile. And Republicans have supported Garland in the past. Senator Orrin Hatch did, but I don't know that that's an endorsement that makes me feel any better. So, I don't know. Anti-Second Amendment and pro-global warming schmuck doesn't make me happy.
Well, he was appointed under Bill Clinton. So I was thinking he might, I mean, he's supposed to be moderate, so I was thinking he might swing a little bit towards the left since he was appointed by Bill Clinton, if that's a sign of any of that.
It could be worse. I mean, considering what I was afraid Obama was going to do, I guess. What do you think? What do you think of the man? D-Like has run away. He's hiding. He doesn't want to. But yeah, that's mildly worrisome. I don't like the whole I don't want a global warming. I don't want someone that could be so easily duped into believing in global warming as somebody that can decide the laws of the land. That doesn't make me happy at all.
Well, on his gun, what did he do under gun? You said that he has something against the gun. I want to research that.
Look up Breitbart 5 issues. Even if you type in Merrick Garland issues, it's on Breitbart.
Okay.
Maybe even get D-Like to throw up a screen share for us. Yeah, 5 facts you need to know about Merrick Garland.
Okay.
He's gonna. I think he's gonna be. I don't know. He's not. I guess he's not gonna be as bad as Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, Breitbart was on this almost immediately, it looks like. It says here, he wanted to uphold an illegal Clinton-era regulation that created an impoverished gun registration requirement. And Obama will use his pick to pursue a gun control agenda. That's bad. That could be very bad. If Obama puts somebody on the high court, it can't be good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And if he gets permission to be put in too, I think that'll stand out significantly. Because I think there's a lot of people that are going to oppose it, if nothing else, specifically because Obama wants it.
Exactly. They're already saying that they're just going to say no, even before he announced who it was going to be. And it's really annoying. It's
Well,
like, at least consider it.
if we don't take him, we're going to end up with somebody worse, is what I'm worried about. Somebody wrote,
Exactly, because
somebody here likes him. On one of the comments, Matt Musin writes, he's not female, Latino, or black. I can only assume that he then is gay, or else the libs would be furious. That's a great comment. Very, very interesting. Again, I knew nothing about him prior to like even looking him up. He hasn't been a man with a huge track record, that's for sure. What else did you have?
Oh boy, my computer is taking forever trying to get to your Breitbart article, the
Oh,
five
yeah.
facts. Oh, I did it finally. Oh, goodness. Okay. I don't know how to do screen share on here.
It'll
Let's
be the
see. Did I try it? Or let's see. Let's see.
because what she's going to be showing everyone
Okay,
is
screen
the article here,
share.
pointing out exactly what kind of person it is that we could be looking at in this quote. So, friends, you're going to want to share the video and let people know where to find out information regarding him, because I think we're going to see a firestorm starting Monday.
They showed me how to do this. Oh,
Yeah. Hello. You're
okay.
going to have to text me. I'm on air. All right. Nobody ever gets a hold of you until you go on air. It's true. But I think what we have to worry the most about is they don't know where he stands on social issues. So that right there implies that he's going to be another person that thinks it's a good idea to rope us into accepting. Like, for instance, I don't care if gay people have gay unions, but the country has spoken clearly that they want marriage to be. They wanted it named anything else. And again, like the left, it never bends. It demanded to have what it wanted and pushed it through. And I worry that this is going to be another person that does the same sort of thing.
Right. Now, how do I screen share this? I'm trying to. Let's see. I know D-Lake showed. Oh, wait. Now let's see.